everyone, welcome back to Star Trek Club. It's meeting 20. I'm Captain Logan. Right next to me is Brandon Grimm. Across the way in another part of the same city we're in, but on the Skypes, it's Adam Meredith.
So it's meeting 20 in 2020.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sure is. I can't believe we've been doing it this long. And it's funny because we've had to skip some weeks here and there, so it's been even longer than we're thinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like half a year.
Although, do time frames matter at this point anymore? Like, I feel like almost like it's just
A blur.
It's just a blur.
a blur.
All right, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and just get right into the meeting tonight. We're starting an hour later than we usually do because Adam had better things to do for the first part. So we're just going to watch one episode tonight. We're going to do a little bit of trivia stuff like we usually do at the beginning here. This will just be a regular kind of trimmed-down meeting. Thanks a bunch for being here, folks. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to watch some Star Trek. We're going to talk about Star Trek. It's going to be very, very Trekky-ish. Brandon has a new Star Trek shirt
I do.
that he's wearing this evening.
What does it say?
I'm giving her all she's got.
Yeah, because all the Star Trek shirts Brandon keeps finding are like quote shirts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're like T Fury finds or if they're things that came out of loot crates at some point. Or
So it is Star Trek
Loot
branded
crates.
on the tag. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's like that's like Paramount, merchandise.
well, it
or-
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the
Did you
case.
So,
find
yeah.
it at the thrift store?
I did, yeah. Savers. I can't believe we were talking about how much stuff has been coming through.
This
thrift
was a
stores.
Savers find. That was
Wow.
Savers
Yeah.
find. Yeah. Found that Smallville shirt that I wore on Halloween, and for the Halloween Captain Logan show last week was also a Savers find that he found. And,
Yeah.
It
I
might
was
be,
like, I have to get this for
unfortunately, it
Cap.
might be because people are selling stuff because they're needing money and stuff right now
Yeah, but
because of the
Savers is
pandemic.
donations.
that's unfortunate.
Like,
Way to bring it down,
they're
man.
not even selling it though. They're just giving it away.
Yeah, that's true. Savers doesn't buy it. That's right. So I guess that doesn't work. You're right. Well, maybe people are donating because they're concerned about people.
No, it's my profit. I'm the Ferengi in this situation.
Okay, so Tom just put in a $2 super chat and asked for an episode, but Tom, we're not actually doing TAS right now because not everybody can get their hands on it. It's not on Netflix anymore. He asked for Counterclock Incident, and he said favorite TOS episode, but or time episode. That's actually a TAS episode. That's an animated episode. That's not actually
Maybe it was a typo.
from the original series. Yeah. So, Tom, pick something else if you could. Pick maybe something TOS or whatever you want to. But yeah, we're not guaranteeing TAS right now because there's a lot of people that just can't watch it. Because at the moment, I think you have to be subscribed to CBS All Access in order to do that. CBS All Access is supposed to be rebranding next year. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Paramount
To
Plus.
Paramount Plus, because might as well follow suit and do everything Disney's doing, not just in having a Paramount streaming network that's all Paramount stuff, not just CBS, but also using the word plus. Don't
And
do
they call
that.
it Apple too. Apple has their Apple TV
Apple
Plus and stuff.
Do they also call it plus? Yeah, quit it.
Plus.
And like, if you think about it, it's not really plus, because if you own it, it's still Disney and it's still Paramount, right?
Yeah.
Like, I get that they have that Disney, for instance, has a bunch of stuff that's just Fox, or that was Fox, but it's now
Right.
Disney. But like, is that what the plus is? The stuff that we also
It might be.
that we also accumulated as we were hoping to get around antitrust laws. Like, is that what
Right.
the plus is for? I don't know.
Yes.
It's just a question. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Let's do a little bit of standard replicator, shall we? Folks in the live chat, let me know if you can hear Adam okay. I'm actually going to have to change around some audio settings before we get to the episode, but we'll take a quick break before that, so that should work out okay. Guys, I'm thinking of something in my captainy little brain, and believe it or not, it has everything to do with Star Trek, and we're going to begin with
Blows my mind every
Brandon
time.
Grimm. Ask some yes or no questions, and we don't have a big crowd yet, but if anybody in the comments feels it while we're broadcasting, of course, like asking questions as well, we'll give you guys a collective turn, and just pay attention to all the questions that have been asked before. Here we go. Brandon, go ahead.
Is it bigger than a Borg cube?
No, it's surely not.
Well,
That's a question
Brandon,
we've never asked.
considering that that's one of the biggest things in the Star Trek universe, doesn't really narrow it down.
What?
very well.
I mean, there's bigger. Okay, sure.
yeah, there's
there
bigger
are bigger
things, but yeah, it's pretty big. So it's not bigger than
Yeah, at that point,
I didn't
you're-
ask if it was smaller than a Dyson sphere.
At that point, you're into like planets and spheres
The
from
Necroid
season 3
expanses.
Enterprise, and and
the voids.
spatial.
Is it smaller than the void?
Yeah, it is. It is. You don't get 2 questions, but it is indeed smaller than the void. Go ahead, Adam.
Is it alive?
It is alive. Cinematographic, has it been cryogenically frozen? No, it certainly
That's an interesting
has
question.
not. Brandon,
There's plenty of that in Star
there's
Trek.
some of that. That's true.
Is it...
I can think of more than one example. Anybody remember The Thaw?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Is it in Voyager?
This thing is not in Voyager. Adam.
Is it in the original series?
No. This is not an original series. And we go back to Brandon.
Is it in Next Gen?
It is in Next Gen.
Excuse me. Okay. Well, we wrote that down.
Oh,
Your turn, sir.
my turn. Did we say it? I can't remember. Did you say it was alive?
It is alive, yeah.
Okay, I just spaced out there.
It's alive. It's in TNG.
Alive in TNG. Okay. Is this an individual?
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay.
Cinematographic, is it from the neutral zone? Not usually, no. Brandon.
Is it...
It's not from the neutral zone, no. Brandon.
Is it someone from Starfleet Command?
From Starfleet Command, specifically.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it can. I guess yes. I guess. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Without asking questions that would tell you more of what it was.
Sure.
Because I don't know how far that go. Like when we say Starfleet Command, do we just mean like the top big wigs?
Right.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, but that would be people back on Earth. I mean, but it's
Yeah,
probably like
I'm gonna
admirals
say
and stuff that
no.
are like,
Okay.
But the fact
You
that I
know, the
hesitated
admirals
should
and
help
settlers
More
or
narrow
people
it
from Earth,
down.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Adam. I don't think I've ever been asked that.
Is this person an admiral?
Yeah. Yeah, this person
That's
is an
what I was
admiral.
wondering.
And I'm sure
Is it,
And I'm sure
Admiral Nechev?
it's not Nechayev, no. And I'm sure this
that's
person
too
is
obvious.
usually operating out of Earth. But yeah, I don't know if that counts as Starfleet Command. If just because you're behind a desk, or if you have to be in a specific office. I don't know that. They're not specific
So the
enough
fact
about
that
it.
you're unsure about that makes me wonder about my guess.
Well, I'm only unsure because it's an admiral.
Sure. Yeah.
Cinematographic, is it a Lorian? No, it's not an Elorian admiral.
Is
Brandon,
an
Did
Elorian
this
admiral?
everybody name an Elorian admiral. Go ahead, Brandon.
Did this admiral ever command a one William Riker?
Uh-huh.
Is it Admiral Pressman?
It is Pressman. That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Pressman,
Yeah,
look
well
at
done.
that. There you go.
I don't know if he's in Starfleet Command. I don't know if that counts.
He's from Starfleet Intelligence at that point.
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe I honestly, I don't know.
Cinematographic also landed on it at the same time you did. Okay, I got one more thing we should be able to get to
All right.
pretty quickly, and we'll start with Brandon because he got it this time.
got it.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I did it.
I did it.
Is it?
Hey, before we get to that, let me go ahead and answer the super chat real quick. We just got one. Lewis Cox, £10 super chat. Thanks, man. Hey, Captain Logan, how are you? I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Had a whole week off last week from live shows. I put up a couple videos, but mostly took off from the channel. Hung out with my kids. My wife was out of town. We did a lot of painting Power Ranger figures and playing video games and
Those are always
watching
cool to
movies
see.
and had a whole lot of fun with my kids. What have you been up to, Mr. Adam?
Oh, nothing much. Went to the Overland Park Arboretum, which I'd never been
I've
to
never
before.
been.
It was pretty neat.
That's cool. Did you pretend like you were on a starship? Because they have those too.
Yeah, they have an arboretum.
I'd rather visit the hydroponics bay. No.
That was just a couple of shelves.
Yeah.
That's all that was. And the only scene I really remember in that was like super disturbing.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? With that,
Was that when she eats the dirt?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm just thinking. Maybe it's that one. It's when that Ocampa guy was trying to get Kes to use her powers,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
he was working for Suspiria or trying to get to Suspiria
Oh,
or
and she
something.
screws up Neelix.
Yeah, remember that
Yeah.
whole thing?
She embeds
One
like,
of the many
crap in
times
him.
we get to hear that super creepy Kes scream where she's like, "Ah!" Nuts. Anyway, what is happening with Morphin Mania? Honestly, DJ has just been really super busy, and we have a few episodes in the can, but he's not gotten to posting them, so sorry about the delay on that. But yeah, I was going to talk to him about that this week and see if we can get some more of those rolling. Keep doing the work you do. I'm gonna. Thank you. Also, Paramount Plus doesn't make sense to me. Why not call it UPN again? That would be better than something plus, I guess. I don't know. I've heard that. I don't think that's personally real smart branding, just because that was a failed network. You know what I mean? UPS was, or UPS. UPN was never popular, and and also that could also be sort of a weird sticky situation because UPN and the WB merged to become the CW. So that's UPN does still technically exist in a different form. And I can't think of an example where you'd go back in time and rename something that merged with something else.
Look, we all love the 90s,
moreover, there's also a cable channel that used to be Spike TV, and it's called the Paramount Network now. Yeah. So that also might be confusing as well, because UPN was United Paramount Network.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although it wouldn't be confusing to the average consumer, because I don't think most of us even knew what it stood for. Like when Voyager was on, I couldn't have told you what UPN stood for. I didn't know that. And then when I finally heard it, I was like, well, I mean, of course, but I didn't actually know that. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for the super chat, man. Fun chatting with you. Let's go ahead and do one more standard replicator. I have a thing. It's in my head. It should be pretty easy. Let's begin with Brandon Graham.
Really quickly, though, I just want to say, so you asked Adam if he'd watched what he'd been up to.
Oh, what have you been up to, Brandon?
Yesterday, I wanted to tell you that yesterday I watched half of RoboCop 3. I didn't even know there was a RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
And I watched the second half of it, and I was like, dang, I need to go back and revisit
Don't tell me anything about it, though, because I've only seen 1 and 2, and 3 I eventually have to do a rewind on, and I really want to go into it cold like I did 2, so...
Yeah, so I need to see the first
half. Isn't it really bad?
Huh?
Oh, it's supposedly
really
kind of a cartoon, yeah, but I mean...
It was cartoonish in nature, but yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was kind of fun. I need to go back and watch them again. Anyway, okay, so is it...
Oh, real quick, sorry. I guess we're just doing channel business right now because I haven't been on for a week. Stephen Murphy, so what's up with Capfall? Well, I posted the first episode of that on Saturday, and it is going to be weekly, so the next episode of that will come up this coming weekend. It's going to be 48 episodes plus the prologue and the epilogue, so there'll be 2 weeks during the year where we won't have episodes of Capfall because it's only going to be, I said 48, it's 50 total, and I didn't want to force it into 52 just so it was a square year because there's really no reason to do 2 more episodes with the kind of story premise that I'm going with, but that is a reboot of Batman Year, rebranded, renamed with a tweaked premise, and it's a found footage thing, and I'm going to be doing I am still going to be reviewing Nightfall like I was with the original show, and it's going really well. I've got quite a bit of it shot already, so excited to show you guys more of that. All right, go ahead, sir.
So is it...
We have not started the game yet. Now we're starting the game. Go ahead, man.
Is it Cardassian in origin?
That's a really random starter question. Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. Adam.
Does this appear on Deep Space Nine?
It sure does. Yeah. Brandon.
Is it unique?
No.
Okay.
And that was the correct question right then. Adam.
Is it alive?
This thing is not alive.
Okay.
And remember, audience, you guys can have a turn as well if you'd like one. Brandon.
Do we see this thing on DS9?
On DS9, like inside the station?
Yes, inside
the
station. Okay.
Not inside the station. Is it
Everybody wants to talk about everything but Star Trek tonight in the comments. It's hilarious. I don't want to talk about voting because we're doing Star Trek.
Is this your first show back after the week hiatus?
It is. Yeah.
So maybe that has
it's the first live show back. Yeah, sure. I basically said that a minute ago, but yeah, that is the reason. Adam.
Is it technology?
It is technology, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's technology.
Ooh.
Oh, cinematographic, is it from the 29th century? Not exclusively. No, Brandon.
Could be from any century.
Is it seen on Bajor?
On Bajor?
Yes.
Possibly, but I can't think of an instance.
Okay.
Adam.
Is this a ship?
It is not a ship.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this a religious artifact?
It is not a religious artifact.
Let me think here. Is this a weapon?
Tom, I don't know what you're talking about with bliss. Did you ask for that at some point? Like the episode title? You just said, did you get my bliss? And sometimes you ask questions that I don't really entirely know what you're saying. Let me check. I don't think that's on here. So yeah, if that's what you want from that super chat earlier, I will put that on here. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Is it a weapon?
No.
Not a weapon.
Is it...
Tom, it's not alive. I feel like somebody asked that already.
I asked that.
Yeah.
Well, we asked if it was... it is technology.
It is technology, yeah. And not technology that I would call alive, Brandon.
Right.
Sometimes those are not mutually exclusive, though.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a few things. Is it seen... it's not unique. Is it seen in more than one episode?
Yes.
More than one episode. And it's not technology.
It is
It
technology.
is technology.
Oh, it is technology.
It's not alive.
It sure is.
Okay.
Adam is ready to do something else.
Is it... God.
Nope. It is not God.
Is it Bajoran in origin?
Nope. I don't know why we keep going to Bajoran. So he asked if it was in DS9. It is in DS9, but that's not necessarily the only place where it is. Brandon, Loose Cox, is it a thing? I mean, nobody's asked if it's exclusive to that series or anything.
That's true.
Let's see. Rockman better not be a light. No.
Or lights.
I would not do that.
There was a great meme
Lewis
on
Cox,
Facebook
is it a
earlier
thing
about
that you
that.
touch? Not generally, a thing you can touch. Yes,
tangible?
but yeah, it's tangible. The situation in which you would be touching it is not the most likely thing. But good, man.
Okay, is it in more than one series?
It sure is.
Okay.
Huh.
Adam,
It's in more than one series.
you guys have a lot more
Hey.
narrowing down questions to ask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're
Like
you were thinking
you don't know
DS9
you don't know
things.
anything yet. Yeah.
Right, we went down the Deep Space Nine rabbit
I
hole.
don't know why you
there.
did that, but anyway.
I don't know
started
either.
with Cardassians, so that might have had something
Yeah,
to do with it.
yeah. Better
You said the
opening volleys
Cardassian,
there, pal.
Brandon. That's what I thought. Maybe it's Cardassian, but you said it could be or something like that. God.
My
Okay.
wrong direction.
Weird opening question, Brandon, but not necessarily
This is-
generally means pretty broad, right?
Yes.
Is this an item unique to one culture?
No, certainly
No.
not.
Okay.
Tom, not a warp core.
I was thinking warp core
And
earlier.
Lewis, we did already establish that it is not a ship.
Is it a transportation device of any type?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
And we said it's not a ship.
It's not a ship. No.
Is it? This is a guess. Is it the transporter?
Nope. It's not the
Okay.
transporter.
Is it
Um,
TNG?
Yep.
It's in TNG.
Oh, I guess you didn't actually get a question, Adam. My apologies.
That's okay. Is it? So you can use it to as transportation. Is it a vehicle?
It in itself is not a vehicle. Tom,
It
is it
is
the lithium
not a
crystals? No.
Okay.
Is
Tom, check your autocorrect before you send things. Brandon.
does this does it have wheels?
Nope.
I know that's an odd question for Star Trek, but
Yeah, the only thing I can think of with that is
the Argo.
The Argo.
It's not in itself a vehicle.
Right.
It's not in itself a ship.
Not in
Right.
itself a vehicle. Okay.
It has something to do with transporting things from place to place.
Right. Oh.
It's Adam's turn.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
I'm trying to think too.
I've got an idea.
Is it used to move the ship at sublight speeds?
Yes.
Is it the impulse engine?
Well, I guess, is it not all integrated?
Impulse engines are separate.
Is it not all together?
The impulse engine is the little red thing on the back of the ship. And the warp engines are the two big things.
It's not. It's not that, but it's related to that, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it would be, as far as I understand it, related to both.
Both.
So then you're talking probably about like the plasma conduits.
Nope.
Okay.
It's simpler than that.
The EPS conduits.
It's much simpler than that. It's not the cargo bay. It's not bioneural circuitry. Nope.
Is it engineering?
Nope.
Oh.
Like the field generators?
Nope. It's much simpler than any of that.
We make things go.
It's not Bassard collectors. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, I wish I'd thought of Bassard collectors, but then I couldn't answer any questions about that. Like, I don't know anything about the Bassard collectors. I don't know if size. Like, you guys haven't really narrowed down size.
No, I know. Like,
I'm gonna call it after a couple more questions here. Lewis, okay, is it part of the ship? Yes, it is part of a ship.
Part of the ship.
It's part of most ships.
Most ships. Oh my gosh.
No, we already ruled out the warp core.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already ruled out the warp core.
Yep. You guys are all over it. Just all over it. It has to do with impulse and warp.
Impulse and warp, but it's not EPS manifolds or whatever, right?
No.
Okay, because he said no plasma. Okay.
It's a visible part of the ship.
Yeah, it's
a visible part of the ship.
Oh, this is hilarious. And I can't believe the audience hasn't gotten this yet. I thought this would be very, very easy.
Well,
there it is, Busted Sim. We're looking for nacelles.
Oh, the nacelles.
Oh.
Okay.
Nacelles.
This has to do with warp.
Yeah, but I thought the impulse. I thought if you went to impulse, they lit up a little bit also.
I don't know.
They just have them lighting up, but I don't think they actually have anything to do with the impulse except for.
Look, that question is not why you didn't get there.
Yeah.
No, true. And I almost said nacelle, but then I was like, I don't feel like it's nacelle. So yeah, it's all part.
No,
of
it was.
engine.
But why did you never say? You said everything around it, but you never said
right?
nacelles. Yeah.
My next guess was going to be the con.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
That was hilarious. I thought somebody might have ended up at deflector at some point.
Well, it's funny because somebody said Broussard collector.
I know.
Which is the front end of the nacelles.
Collectors.
Oh yeah, that's true. But it wasn't specifically those.
No, it wasn't. It was more broad than that.
Okay, let's do a little bit. We haven't done this in a few weeks. Let's do a little bit of Star Trek Trivial Pursuit. So we'll get out the good old shuttlecraft here.
The Galileo.
Yes, indeed. And we got our little category card here. We'll play best of 5, guys.
Okay.
If that sounds good to you. And then if everybody's sucking eggs, we'll play best of 3. All right, so we got our dice. We got, because remember, this is the Trivial Pursuit that doesn't have a board because they were lazy with it. And I mean, it's cool to get this, but but it's weird to play Trivial Pursuit.
It doesn't have the
board.
pie wedges.
Let's make our own
Yeah.
pool board.
I mean, we could. Anyway, so we're going to roll this die, and Brandon and I are going to ask all the questions because Adam is not in the room. But luckily, you guys aren't, both not here. This would be slightly harder. So you get a stack.
All right.
And I got a stack. And if we find ourselves reading questions that we read last time, we'll try to get more stacks because I'm pretty sure I have a different set, but I don't know. But it's also been long enough, maybe we won't even remember what was asked.
That's also fairly possible.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go. Oh.
Okay, we'll let Adam go first.
Yeah, because I went first in standard replicator.
Is it? Yeah, that's true.
Twice.
Is it cool if I just keep rolling this? Is that
Sure.
any big deal?
Sure.
Okay. Adam, you are going to start with a crew member's question. Crew member's question, and I guess I'll ask it. So, again, best of 5. Probably everybody try to keep track of your own points. Oh, come on. What Cheers and Frasier actor played Captain Morgan Bateson?
Kelsey Grammer.
That was indeed Kelsey Grammer, and you have a point. Remember, these never go to episode titles, which hurts my feelings, and they also don't tell you. They also don't always give you enough context for the episodes, so keep that in mind as well.
Context is for kings,
It's for kings, yeah. Because they don't give you the episode title as context, so you're like, what episode am I even? It'll just be like, when did the Enterprise go through a cloud? And you're like, what episode am I talking about? All right, Brandon, you want to ask me something?
So I'll ask you something. But that question, it's funny about that question too, because there's only one actor who was both in Frasier and Cheers anyway, right?
I don't think. Yeah, but Kirstie Alley never appeared in Frasier.
Oh, you know what? You know who John Mahoney did? His father in Frasier. He played a jingle writer, and anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think he was ever in Star Trek.
No. But
he's just saying you don't have very many things to choose from if you knew anything about that
right.
show.
That
but
pretty much gives it away.
He's saying it's weird that they said Cheers and Frasier actor. It's almost like they're trying to give it to you in case you don't remember the 30 seconds of that episode.
It could be if they said Cheers. It could have been either Kelsey Grammer or Kirstie Alley, so it would have worked.
If you're a TNG fan, you know that.
Oh, it could have been BB New Earth too.
Okay, let's move on, shall we? Here we go.
Yeah. What?
I got
BB Newworth. I forgot.
Okay, so I got the same category you did.
Okay.
So give me a question, Mr. Brandon Graham.
What musical instrument did Mr. Spock often play?
Well, he played a Vulcan. I always go back and forth on this. It's one of two things. Is it a lyre or is it a lute? It's a lute, right?
Well, it's the lute.
There we go. I'm always like,
I thought it was a harp.
Which one is it? No, it's a lute. I got a point. Yeah, 1 point for me. All right, Brandon, you get a Starship question.
Okay.
And your question is as follows. What episode is the episode title? These things never have episode titles.
Oh, wow.
Well, then if you're going to do any at all, give me the episode titles for context. What episode splintered the ship chronologically? In Voyager, so that each deck was in a different era of the ship's history. Go, Brandon.
Shattered,
and we all have a point.
As soon as you said splintered the ship, I was like,
we all know what that is. All right, here we go.
One of my favorites.
So you asked a Shattered question, but that's probably one of 5 episode title questions in the entire game. Watch us get a bunch more. I don't know. I've never seen episode titles in this. What?
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say you're gonna ask Adam one, I guess.
I sure am. That is, as the Gem Hadar would say, not the the order of things. Okay. Where did the Trill symbiotes live on their home planet?
Is that my question?
That's your question.
In a lake and the Hobbesian baths. Is that what they want? Is that what they want at?
As impressive as it is that you remembered that is not what it's asking for.
I wondered the same thing. I couldn't have told you the name, but I was like, they live in that little thing.
I thought you were going to say a lake down by the river. No,
that's what I thought too.
It wants the caves of Makala.
Oh, for God's sake! I don't remember ever saying that.
And you, sir,
episode.
Get no point.
I guess it's not the Hobbesian baths. That's just a resort. So I guess that was wrong. That's the only thing on Trill I remember. Darn it.
Now he's just banking on our ignorance, not remembering what that is. All right. So I need, Brandon, a phaser question.
Can I just say I love Star Trek Club?
I know. Star Trek Club's the best.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I get to continue to do this.
So Brandon,
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to obey that phaser order and ask me a phaser question.
Yes. What was the name of the tunnels that provided access to ships' maintenance systems?
Well, that's gonna be Jeffrey's tubes, Brandon.
Yeah.
And now I have 2 points and am in the lead. Brandon, you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, no Obetian bath nonsense
Yeah.
over here.
I've already forgotten what they said. The
caves of Makala.
Makala.
The caves of Moncala. So like the Trills all just sat around all day and they played that game where you have like the little jewel things that you move because the caves of Moncala. Brandon, what post did Janice Rand serve in Star Trek: The Motion Picture?
Damn it!
Buses and I had the same thought. Yeah, in Yerk Pools. In Yerk Pools, down by the river.
Number one.
Number one.
You
thought Janice Rand was the first officer in Motion Picture?
I'm
Do
drawing.
you remember
complete
Motion
blank.
Picture?
I'm drawing.
So
complete
the
blank.
first officer in Motion Picture
Will Decker.
is Will Decker.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
That's right. 'cause
Yeah.
He gets
No, she's the transporter chief.
demoted. Oh.
Yes, she's the one where those people die.
No, I lost my.
Oh,
And,
she
and Kirk's
is.
like, "There's nothing you could have done, Rand."
Yeah, and then that's that point where
I don't know
McCoy
what
is
it
like
was, but it didn't-
very
20 minutes
justified
later,
for not wanting to beam
Throw
up.
him in the transporter and beam him up. That's what Kirk's like.
It was just
right.
a
We
holdover
fixed it.
scene from the Phase 2 pilot that they kept in for, I don't know why. It didn't really have anything to do with anything.
You know, I don't even buy that they would have cleaned up the smell in 20 minutes. After that
Whatever that
incident.
was on the
Oh
transporter
my god.
That's a good point. Okay, anyway, so on to the next round. I am in the lead right now. Adam,
All right.
you got
Wait,
a
did I get to ask you?
Starfleet. Oh, wait, did I not?
No, you didn't get one that time. So
Yeah, I did. What are you talking about?
you did.
You got the Jeffries too.
Yeah, I had a
that's
Jeffrey's
right,
2
that's-
question, and then I
I'm
asked you a question just
sorry,
now.
yeah, no,
and now it's
you're
to
right.
Adam.
It's Adam's
What are you
turn.
talking about, man? Adam! This is a TOS question, it looks like. What does a code factor 1 message from Starfleet signal?
Code factor 1.
Code factor 1.
I think it means invasion or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It says an invasion of the Federation, and I'm not even
Because
sure what
I
episode
remember
that's
Kirk,
in.
It's in
Isn't that a conspiracy?
No, this is a TOS
no,
question.
Oh,
it's
it's a TOS
TOS. It's
question.
in. Oh god, I always get the Klingon episodes confused. Is it Errand of Mercy, the one with Core?
Aaron
And
Mercy
the
is
gun-
the first Klingon episode. I think
Yes,
that's Core.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
So
rusty
Kirk
on
goes,
that.
He goes, whatever that was. He goes, that means only one thing. Invasion.
Yeah, this card is unusual in that I couldn't glean what episode it was from all the other questions because it actually asked like a bunch of questions from different episodes. There was like a Lazarus question here and a Horda
Lazarus.
question, and yeah, so I'm not sure what episode that was. Anyways, okay, Brandon asked me a Klingon symbol question. That's an aliens question.
Who was the Betazoid murderer who eventually helped save the Voyager crew?
Well, that is going to be Mr. Lon Suter.
We
Absolutely.
just talked about him the other day and how he played a murderer.
So
in,
3 points,
3
2
different
points,
shows.
1 point. Brandon, see if you can get another point here.
Yes.
You got a Starship question,
Okay.
and it is as follows. What type of battle cruisers did the Klingons use in the late 23rd century in TOS?
Wow. A couple things are running through my head, but then
And this is the popular one. This is the one that's said most often
Yeah.
in TOS.
if I don't get it, I'm gonna kick myself when I do hear it. Like the.
Oh, come on, Brandon. You can do this. Come on, Brandon.
I want to be able to do this.
Come on, Brandon.
Uh,
Adam, should I give him a hint?
The only thing that's coming to mind is the letter D.
Should I give him a hint? Oh, that's actually my hint's not going to help.
That was his hint.
My hint's not going to help. No, that wasn't my hint, but the hint would have gotten him to that part. Yeah, you're close.
Is it DC?
Nope.
No.
That would be a comic company and also
No, I know
the
that.
initials
The
of Mrs. Fontana.
Yeah. No, okay. The D12. I don't. I'm drawing.
And you did not, sir, sink my battleship. It's D7. The D7
God,
cruiser.
Of course it is.
You were all over it, Brandon.
I was all over
Oh
it.
man, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks. Okay.
I know.
And now we go back to Adam.
I was like, I know it's a number here.
Adam, you are gonna do a Klingon symbol question. So aliens, aside from Tuvok, this is Voyager, naturally. Who was the only other Vulcan aboard Voyager?
The only other was he really the only other one?
Yeah, he was.
I guess the only one.
At least that we ever saw. Well, no. You know what's dumb? That question's weird because there are a couple of mentions of all the other Vulcans on board, right? But he's the only other one that we see. But they talk about it like there's actually more Vulcans on that ship.
Right.
What's his name? Vorik. That is correct, sir. Yeah.
That I could have answered too.
I'm not gonna look that up. I know that. Okay, so you have 3 points, correct? And I have 3 points. So I have a chance at taking the lead here.
Yes.
Brandon, I need a Starfleet question. That's the Starfleet symbol.
What was the name of the Cardassian intelligence agency?
Well, that is going to be
the
Obsidian Order, Brandon Grimm. And I now have 4 points. I've been getting really lucky with really
no caves of Mancala or whatever.
Mancala. The caves of Mancala.
The only thing that came to my mind was the Romulans, the Tal Shiar.
No, they were the other people that got tricked.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the other shadow government. What was the injector ship designed to do in Insurrection?
The injector ship.
The injector ship, Brandon.
It was going to steal the crap from the rings. I don't know what it was.
It's not your turn. It's Brandon's turn.
Oh, it was Brandon's.
It's not even your question. I don't know why you're trying to answer this. I'm going to give you a different question, Brandon.
Okay.
Just because A, he's trying to answer it, and B, it's stupid. Like, who cares? Collect metaphasic radiation. Do you care? I don't care.
Metaphasic.
Okay, I'm sorry, because you're probably not going to know this, but I'm just going to go to the next question, and I'm not going to just keep doing that. So, who commanded in Enterprise the Republic?
The Republic. No idea.
What episode is this? Captain Jennings. That is not ringing a bell right off.
I don't remember that at all.
Peter Jennings.
That is not ringing a bell. All right, well, sorry about that, man.
The only other captain I remember is the Columbia, the lady. What's her name?
That's the only one I remember. What's her name?
Yeah, what's her name?
Erica Hernandez. That's her name. Erica Hernandez.
Hernandez. Yes,
Adam, you get an aliens question. And here it is. DS9. Jim Hadar, who lived to the age of 20, were given what title?
It was like honored elder or something like that.
I believe that is correct. Wow, and you got it. I would have taken just elder, which is what I would have said. But yeah, honored elder is what it asked for. So you're at 4 points, and I'm hoping to win on this because you're probably going to beat me if I get this wrong. But I have gotten like 4 softball questions in a row, so I'm expecting something horrendous, like a bunch of numbers in a row, or somebody's middle name that I don't even remember their first name. Okay, here we go. Brandon, I need another Starfleet question, sir.
Okay. How many species
I hate numbers. Okay, sorry.
did Voyager make first contact with during its journey home? I can't believe the absurdity of this question.
And it's not given multiple choice.
After you said that, yeah,
it's not a multiple choice
not
question.
a multiple choice question.
That's insane. Who would know that right off?
You're
What
gonna
the hell
love
did
the
they even
answer.
say that in? Was it in game?
Is there
Because
any
I feel
place-
like that's the only place you could mention that because that's the end of the show.
Because it's the end
You wouldn't
of
be
the
able to
show.
know.
This question is so ridiculous because oh my god, I can't.
Are you done analyzing the question so I can try to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. 65.
Over 400. That's the answer. Over 400. That's not a good question. You want a different question?
No, because I mean he got Mancala caves. All right, let's just hope that his is really hard too. All right, Brandon, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. That question deserves
Busted
to
Sim,
die.
how many episodes were in that show? Voyager had, I used to know this. So TNG is 178. Voyager has to be less than that because the first season was like a half season. So it's like 160 something.
It's like 168, I think.
If memory
like
serves.
that, yeah.
No, it's got to be even a couple less than that, I think, or more than that.
Yeah.
It's not that round of a number though. Because first season was what, 12 shows?
Yeah,
it was more than 10. Anyway, all right. Let me give Adam. Is it?
It's my turn.
Is it your go? It's your go. Okay. Brandon, this is Enterprise. What alien cabal were major participants in the temporal Cold War?
Well, you confused me with the word cabal, but I'm going to say...
Well, that's actually, if you knew that show, the thing that would help you get it faster. But yeah.
I feel like I should know this, but...
Steve Murphy, 172. 172, I feel like it should be... That means I'm wrong about the number of TNG episodes. It must have been over 180 then.
I'm going to say the Insectoid Xindi.
Nope. The Xindi were not actually a faction in the Temporal Cold War.
Okay.
They were affected by the Temporal Cold
pawns.
War, but they were pawns by the sphere builders who were a faction in that war. No, we're looking for the Suliban, who were there from the very beginning.
The Suliban cabal.
See, that is where I couldn't.
Gabon.
I know the Suliban certainly, but that's where I couldn't.
All right.
Connection.
We go back to Adam, and Adam, we are tied, and you have a chance at the win. Here we go. You got a phaser question, and here's your phaser question. What elevator-like transport, God bless America, carried the crew from deck to deck aboard the Enterprise?
The turbo lift.
Yeah, you won on frickin' turbo lift.
Turbo lift.
I think it more closely resembles the Wonka.
Yeah, sure. Brandon,
yes,
ask me a question real quick.
Okay.
I just want to see
sure
how I'd have done here. TNG was 178. Well, how does that even work out then? How did Voyager, with a shorter first season, have only 6 episodes less than TNG?
Maybe they have less of a hiatus, maybe. Like during, how they'll take breaks and stuff throughout the spring and February.
What does that have to do with episode count, though? TNG was consistently 26 almost every season except for 2.
If they did one every week for that first, from the January through May, it's possible they could have gotten a higher number than that. Closer to that.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about episode counts. Like every season of Voyager had 26, I think, except for first. So I'm not seeing how you only end up with 8 less.
I don't know how many episodes
with 6 less. That's what I'm saying. I think it was uniform. They were all 26.
All 26.
TNG, DS9, Voyager were all 26 episode seasons, if memory serves.
Well, let's see how many episodes they had in the first season here. I'm just curious.
I don't see how that even... Yeah, well, it wasn't 6.
All right.
Or no, not 6. It would have to be... Oh, you know what? Maybe it was more than 12. Maybe it was more like...
16 or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could have not taken a break.
That's what it would have to be. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Brandon, go ahead and ask me something.
What did you roll?
Yeah, I got a Starfleet symbol.
Oh, Starfleet symbol. Which of these Seinfeld friends appeared in the Voyager episode Think Tank?
Well, that would have been Jason Alexander.
Yes. But the way it's worded, it sounds like the answer should be George Costanza.
George Costanza.
Yeah, but that character didn't appear in that episode.
No, I know that.
This is the guy who played him.
It's really funny the way they worded that.
I get it, Brandon.
Yeah, it was 16 episodes in the first season of Voyager.
Yeah, but Sim, you could be onto something. Maybe they're counting 2-parters as they're probably counting the Voyager 2-parters that aired at once as one episode. That's a weird count. Oh no. Anyway, all right. So, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. We usually spin the wheel at the beginning, but for whatever reason we didn't do that. So we're gonna do it now. And
we started midway through anyway, so it's kind of like...
Yeah, we're going to spin it. Now we'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll watch our episode for this evening. And next week we'll come back to doing 2 again. Let me see. I'm going to have to throw this actually over here because... Sorry, Adam. OBS has been really weird to me lately. If I've got a thing set up for monitor 1 and for monitor 2, but if I switch it to 1, it switches it for every tab that I have for a single monitor, and that's why it's been doing that to me lately, and it didn't used to. So I don't know what happened. Some update or something. All right, here we go. Let's find out what we're watching this evening, folks. And if somebody wants to add an episode to the board anytime during the rest of the evening, feel free to put in a super chat in any dollar amount, and that will give you access to that. So here we go. Here we go, Brandon.
Is it going to be a two-parter like you've
It is
told?
not. It is Singularity.
Singularity. Is that a Voyager episode?
That is an Enterprise episode.
Enterprise.
And if it's the one I'm remembering, if it's the one I'm thinking of, and I'm pretty sure it is, this will be hilarious. So everybody strap in. That's season 2. I like this one a lot. It's very, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's very amusing. And let me just look it up and get you the exact episode number. But I know it's season 2. Adam, I'm pretty sure this is the one where Reed obsesses with Red Alert.
Oh, Reed Alert.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's this one. I've been looking forward to this. This will be fun.
Cool.
I've definitely not seen enough Enterprise, so I'm happy to see another one.
Have I never shown you this?
No, not this one.
Oh, this will be ridiculous. I can't wait.
I mean,
This
I've
is
heard
going to
you
be a
say Reed
fun
Alert
one.
time and time again.
This is going to be a lot of fun to do as our only episode for the evening. All right, folks, 5-minute break. Come right back. We'll see you in just a little bit.
These commercials.
Hey, everybody, give us just a minute. Still waiting for Brandon. And we're back. And look, we got Jason sitting in for Singularity.
Singularity.
Because Jason really likes this episode, and I think it'd be fun to bring him on for it. Okay, so would everybody bear with me for just a minute before we get started, because I need to add an audio source here, because I don't have this set up quite right. So give me just a second.
We haven't gotten to like any of my episodes at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This was on my list though, so I think this was on a lot of our lists.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember I don't think I put this on my list. Maybe it was like a runner-up. I mean, because it's not like brilliant or anything. It's just funny.
It was on my list because I only have like I have 2 seasons and a couple episodes that I've watched of Enterprise. Well, season and a half.
I don't even remember this that clearly, so it'll be a surprise.
Do you not?
No, I remember Read Alert, but I don't know if I remember what happened.
That's all you remember?
Yeah.
Well, there's a black hole.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, so episode 9 of season 2 of Star Trek Enterprise. Or at this point, just simply Enterprise. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Is everybody ready? Get a timestamp 0. Get ready to press play when I say now. Turn on your subtitles. Get ready for action. Here we go. Everybody, please
Get
press...
ready for action. You sound like one of those puppet show, like the Thunderbirds or whatever from the 60s. You know, like, get ready for action.
Well, you sound a lot like that.
Yeah, I can't decide if that was a really good impression of that or me. Both are acceptable. All right, here we go. Brandon, are you ready?
I am ready.
And you have not seen this.
This is correct.
Oh, this is going to be fun. All right.
Oh, man.
A part of me wants to just sit back and watch you guys react. All right. Everybody, please
Star Trek React.
press play right now.
Boom.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun!
A ship in a nebula.
Oh,
Never seen that in Star Trek before.
I was just thinking about the graphic.
I think that the bridge of the NX-01 has too many levels, like stairs.
Yeah.
It seems very unsafe.
Yeah, they went nuts with that.
And it also doesn't seem like it would be like people with disabilities compliant too.
Yeah, and you can argue in like the 23rd and 24th century potentially that like we've gotten rid of enough disabilities that hardly ever comes up, right? Like there's not people in
That's
wheelchairs
true.
anymore and stuff.
Except for that Melora and that.
I know, but that's one episode, and that's somebody from another planet, and like they probably don't have to deal with gravity issues that often. Although
Right.
you'd think that they would, but that was just a gravity thing. Like more or less, most of the time, you wouldn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's like every planet is basically Earth size apparently in Star Trek.
And if you could, I don't know, if you could do site-to-site transporting more readily, then that wouldn't even be that big of a deal. Because you
Right.
could just transport somebody right into their seat. And then when they needed to go back home, you could just transport them back to their quarters, right?
Right.
Okay, Jason, I want
Sing
your
it.
verdict. Is this song really silly, or do you like it? You've sang this in karaoke like 3 times.
Okay, so it's pretty silly. I mean I like it, but that's probably because it's silly and
This Discovery
I don't
Channel
know.
montage is very dated.
it's kind of
it is.
weird.
But at least it's not the In a Mirror Darkly montage that has the worst CG in the history of television. Remember that guy planting the flag on the moon that doesn't look like he's remotely there? It's the best. Looks like a college project.
No.
You like that, Jason?
La.
She always talks like she's on Valium.
I know! I know.
Doc-
To Jolene Blaylock,
Dr.
that's
Flock
what
is-
stoicism sounds like.
Yes, that's what it is. Mm.
And I have heard, and I have heard people that have been Star Trek fans forever, and that are like swear by TOS more than anything, that like she's the only good actor on the show, and I don't know what they're talking about.
That's crazy.
Sorry, I don't get that. She's got her moments here and there. She's absolutely trying. She was just, I think, poor casting and not really an actress. Like,
Yeah.
Also, I think, and I've made this point before, but in exactly the same way that Voyager was just more TNG, Enterprise is kind of just more Voyager.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. We do a lot of episodes like this where we do whatever we would have done with 7 of 9 with T'Pol.
Right.
And so, of course, she's the only one that is awake and able to function when everybody else gets knocked out outside of the black hole, because that's what we would have done with 7 of 9.
And they did that with 7 of 9 in the Pitcher Plant episode, and then
Precisely.
the episode where she was the haunting of Deck 12.
And we
also.
find excuses to do it with Phlox sometimes, too. And we'll go, well, he's not an EMH, but he's an alien, so we just say things don't affect him like they do humans. And then, so you have an episode that was basically just a ripoff of Night, or not Night, sorry, of One, that has the two of them again. Just like, and there's a twist at the end, but it's essentially the same episode.
Is the haunting of Deck 12 the one where Paris like wakes up randomly from the hibernation, and Seven's freaking out?
No, that's not Haunting
I
of
was
Deck
gonna-
12, but I think that's One.
That's One.
Or she imagines that happens, but it doesn't actually happen.
It doesn't actually. One
Or
of the,
no,
yes,
see, I always get that confused too. I think
get
it's the
them
one with
confused.
T'Pol, and it's Tucker that does it.
I can never remember.
They're like, yeah, because every time I go back to Night or to One, I expect that to happen in that episode, but it's not that. It's what is it? Doctor's Orders? Is that episode?
Yes, Doctor's. So
Yeah.
One is the episode of Voyager where she's freaking out,
Right.
and then there's also the Pitcher Plant episode
Right.
where they're in hibernation too. Okay, I get them both.
So, the theme is not silly in like the
Are those
first
CDs?
3 episodes, and then it's silly, or not the third.
It's
first
the
3.
same. Oh, and then when they
In-
add that drum track, it gets
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's a peppier version. Does Archer have a CD caddy over on his
Yes,
console?
that is
there?
what that looks like.
Look at that.
It's got futuristic discs.
Got those discs.
So everybody in this episode has something they were in the middle of when this phenomenon hits them, and then they're all going to become obsessed with whatever that thing was.
Yeah.
So Archer is basically having the same.
I remember this.
Archer's
now.
basically
the bulkhead.
Yes. He's
Okay.
basically having the same problem I do every time I write a rewind, where I'm like, I'm gonna be way too long-winded, and it's
They
gonna.
only ask for a page.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
T'Pol did say that she'd be happy to read it. She's a Vulcan.
Busted Sim says they don't have 50 years of Trek tropes to know not to do things. I'm not sure what he's referring to, but if you're talking about just stuff that they do in this that we've got like pretty established later on, some of that obviously makes sense, and some of it is just like lack of common sense. And the big one, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but the big one here is the whole read alert thing, which is hilarious. But the idea that you don't have some kind of an alert klaxon that happens whenever there's you get attacked or there's danger, and you needed an origin
Why didn't
for
they have
that?
this now? Yeah, why now?
That's
This is a
ridiculous.
season into it.
Yeah. Well, they play it like it's not out of nowhere, where it's like, well, we've been increasingly having more fights lately, and after the thing with the Romulans and everything. But I'm with you. He should have thought of that in the second or third episode. And also, a lot of that stuff from TOS is just based on what the military and nautical things would have been doing, right? Like, you would have an alert thing that happens, and the Prime Directive would come to you more readily than it does, I would think.
Look at Phlox has got a mortar and pestle. I didn't know he was into traditional Chinese medicine there.
They like to just throw in whatever random things they can think of
Yeah.
with Phlox. And so then Phlox is
What are
going to get
those
obsessed
tubes?
with
Look at those. They look like food
curing
coloring things, but
Mayweather
giant.
with nothing. What's that? Hilariously, sickbay in the show is one of the most open and larger rooms in the series.
Yes.
So he seems out of character at the moment.
Yeah, every other room is like cramped. It's got a big old like a lip at the door
Brandon,
that you have to walk over. And
I think that's
stuff,
because
you
everybody's
know?
actually already beginning to be slightly
I
affected by
wondered
the
about
thing.
that.
Yeah, I think we're actually seeing the moments where it starts to hit them.
Because
And it's just coincidentally when they all happen to be starting
really
whatever
annoying.
new thing they're doing.
sure.
Yes, the chair episode.
But it's almost like Starfleet started out way more as a NASA science-based than military organization. Then they actually went into space and they were like, oh, that's what space is going to be like. Yeah, well, and I think that you had that kind of identity crisis even with TOS. Like, with different writers, episode to episode, they could not decide how much they were explorers and how much it was military. And
Right.
that kind of haunts Star Trek all the way through.
You think like there would be two different organizations doing that, you know?
Yeah, and then very smartly in season 3 they go, oh, we're not military and here's some military, and they put them on board when we have to, take a starship and go do
Right.
a military mission.
But
But
then they
even
don't.
but even this show has a little bit of a hard time with it. Although I think it's mostly pretty good about it. Like they're explorers.
Right.
They're not really military.
Right.
So this is the torpedo bay. This is pretty cool.
But if the whole point of having Reed on board was to bring some of that to it because these explorers don't know what to do in a crisis and if they get attacked, he should have already established a lot of the stuff that he starts establishing here.
Right. Right.
And this is just that prequelitis Smallville nonsense. It just drives me crazy. It leads to one of the better gags in the show. I mean, it's funny, but...
Right.
But like, it didn't
Alright.
occur to you to have a thing that automatically brings the hull plating online?
Right.
Okay!
Right. Suliban.
And we had that stupid thing that because this is the first, and remember, this is not the first ship that they've sent. It's just the first like major exploration mission.
One. Yeah.
They have to be the first at everything. Like there's so. You know, obviously Archer has to be instrumental in creating the Federation, which always drove me absolutely insane. And even in the mirror universe, Reed is the one who comes up with the agony booth, because of course he does.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, why?
Getting ready for battle?
Because
so you're afraid people are gonna panic in the middle
I'm pretty
of
sure
battle?
Cisco says
it's the aesthetic
battle
of they're
stations
not a warship.
at one
He
point
doesn't
in
like,
Deep Space
battle
Nine.
state, like having that at the ready.
Yeah, but I get why it's there, Brandon, but it's dumb because they are battle stations.
There are battle stations. I'm pretty sure other people have called it battle stations.
Well, that's what I'm saying is the reason it ends up making Archer look really stupid is because that will be the standard later. So it's supposed to be that kind of funny, ironic thing where it's like, ha ha, Archer. That's what they'll call it later. Like, oh, I hate that stuff. It busted Sim Trip. Space engineer is using a dentist drill.
He's using a what?
A dentist drill.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Ugh. Horrible sound. Yeah, it was like pneumatic. It had like a tube coming out of the back of it and stuff.
So my favorite obsession in this is the captain's chair thing. I don't think this episode is anything like as funny without that. The real alert thing's great. The Hoshi one is kind of lame. She's just gonna cook a traditional dish from her family 150 times.
Right. I think those Palm Pilots might be the most dated thing on this show.
It's up there. It is up there.
It's gotta be one of the most dated.
Although not having any automation whatsoever would be second to that, I think.
That's true.
Because really, like, we're just not technologically wise thinking very progressively here in 2001. I mean, like, I realize it was 19 years ago for us right now, but really, you're not thinking more about automation. That's like not having anything akin to the internet in stuff that's coming out in like the mid 90s. You know what I'm saying?
I never understood why they didn't have like more robots like that could help, you know, drones that could do repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure some people might think, well, Adam, like, we have drones everywhere now. Maybe they wouldn't have thought of that yet, but like we were already like working on a lot of that kind of technology.
I mean, Star Wars had already shown that and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
And in real life, we were a lot closer to making that.
We already had
kind of
cars
standard.
Being assembled by robots and stuff by then, you know.
Boy, that's a great point. Not to mention the fact that, well, and like they're probably thinking we're trying to make this look. And this is a tough, like balancing act or like, you know, tight rope to walk. But like they're probably thinking, well, we need this to look more primitive than TNG. And so TNG's got a lot of automation. So we're going to say that 200 years earlier they didn't have as much. But they're still extrapolating too much from 2001. So if you, from the year 2001. So if you want to, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. If you want to make it more about what the world would be like in Star Trek 200 years earlier based on 23rd and 24th century that we've seen already, then you make this look more like that, not extrapolating aesthetically from 01. Did you guys notice the statue of Zephram Cochrane in the background there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Porthos.
Busted Sim, my headcanon is that World War III regressed our technological development a lot. Yeah, but again, kind of having our cake some with some of the stuff that we really are going. Well, this is going to look futuristic from today.
I mean, it couldn't have regressed it that much if they're out in space. I don't want to get into some like steampunk.
Yeah,
thing, or atom punk or whatever they call it.
That's a really good point.
The 60s, yeah.
Yeah, Archer, I mean, that was pretty bad. So
hey, don't be mean.
That's fair that you deleted it because it was.
Porthos.
Don't yell at Porthos.
You know, I just thought of this. You know, one of the other really funny things about this episode is, especially after you've seen the whole series, this is Archer struggling like crazy to write a speech because we know he's like the crappiest like speech giver captain.
Yeah, he has the dumbest speeches.
That's so good. What is that thing on the wall?
What is that?
That looks like a traditional Vulcan artifact.
Yeah. Her quarters are really ugly. Spock's quarters were way cooler looking than hers, like with all the weird stuff he had. Remember that little thing? It was like glowing and like bubbling and stuff in TOS. What was?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
God, that thing is an eyesore.
And then she's got some plans. It looks like some blueprints, and her bath towel.
So we have regressed a lot from World War III. I'm going more with Busted Sims headcanon. My wife's an architect. She's not printing blueprints now.
It's people.
It's people.
Soylent Green is people.
It's so good.
Oh, she's got the pad thing going there too. And they can't replicate those, so she's really hogging those pads.
That's true. I wonder how many they have. I wonder if there's just a room for that. They have like a pad room.
Pad room. They're all in like little slots, like with foam, you know.
So Billingsley is really amusing in this, with his kind of his kind of insane neuroses here, and Billingsley plays really good villains in some other stuff, including an episode of the Orville, and so we're seeing him channel that a little bit here, and we'll see kind of flashes of what he'll do with mirror flogs.
Yes.
Like, he's not flat out sadistic. There's like flashes of it because of his paranoia.
Flash of it.
So if your doctor started going crazy like this, I'd be helping to get out
Run
of there
out
too.
of the room.
Yeah, but Flex plays head games with him where he makes him think that if he leaves, he's going to get court-martialed, so...
A protocystian spore. Why do they got those computer fans back there? What is that all about?
I don't know, but I mean, they still need, like, regular paper towels, so...
Yeah, they got paper towels.
Rockman, that Porthos and cheese thing never worked as a running gag, in my opinion. Yeah, that's fair.
Do they have a paper towel room too?
They have a paper towel room, and it's in the pad room.
Yeah.
I want to think that that's the reason the rooms are so small. Where like they actually have more space on the ship than you think they do, but they have to store a bunch of stuff that you didn't have to, that you don't have to store later when you have replicators.
Yeah.
But this episode made me realize that Archer never sits in his chair. I think that's why they ended up swapping it out in season 4. No, that's true. He does not sit in his chair. He
Give him a Tylenol.
He paces.
He paces. Which is weird because all those weird levels and stuff. How do you pace? You have to like go up and down.
He's got so much exploring to do just on the bridge, not to mention out in space.
He took the whole thing down to engineering.
I want a reproduction of the chair he builds in this.
Yes.
Because it's elaborate and hilarious. It's so busy. There's way too much going on. It's great.
Yes. This should have been the sound.
I wish they'd done an experiment.
I forgot about
I wish
that.
they'd done an experiment where they went with one of those sounds and then kept using it just to see how many viewers they lost every week.
I know that everybody. They should have done it without warning too, and then everybody's like, "What was that?"
No, I'm with you, Busta Sim. I think it is just Bakula didn't want to sit in the chair.
Uh-huh.
And to be fair, like, every captain gets up a lot. Like, I think... What do you guys think? The captain that probably spends the most time in a captain's chair is probably Janeway.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because of blocking in that show. I think there's a lot of, like, let's have some downtime and have a conversation with Janeway and Chakotay sitting in chairs next to each other. Like, we did some of that in TNG, too.
Right. Well, that bridge was also weird. It was really, really wide, the Voyager bridge, compared to TNG. It was, like, a lot wider than that bridge was. So I think just the way of blocking, I don't know. The way the blocking had to work out, too, I think. I don't know. That seems like too much.
What I like about this episode is everybody gets to be out of character episode is they're still themselves just with these obsessions. They're not like playing like really
Different
super over the
characters.
top cartoon characters.
Right.
And I mean it's a somewhat goofy premise, but it's also very TOS. I think that's one of the things I like about it. And of course, there's a lot of these an anomaly affects you emotionally kinds of episodes.
Yeah. Clearance code.
It's like behavioral disorder.
Yes.
Kinds of
A
things.
lot of episodes like that on Voyager.
This is honestly kind of like an attempt at doing Naked Now better in its way.
Right. Naked Now.
And I'm not saying this is a great episode, but by Enterprise standards, I think it's one of the standouts.
Yeah.
It is a little padded out because it kind of has to be with this premise. Like, this could have been an animated series episode easily. Like, it doesn't really need more than 22 minutes. And they've got to pad it to twice that length.
Yeah.
That's true, buzzes him, that he says Kirk had a great captain's chair recline going. And yeah, he sat in it a fair bit, but he also got up a lot.
Yeah. He's packing heat. It's an open carry ship.
So I would make the argument that Reed and Phlox are probably equally dangerous in this state of mind. They are the most dangerous, and Tucker's the least dangerous because he's not even in engineering. He's he is, but he's just messing with a chair. Like, that's all he's doing. But Reed's obsession is with upgrading the apparatus of the of weaponry.
Yeah.
And Phlox is doing medical experiments on a man.
Yeah. She's just like, okay.
Archer's just writing a book.
This is the Homer Simpson going back into the bush meme. Right there.
Trivial at best.
Except for the Reed one. That's not trivial. You should have had that already. And that's my biggest issue with the Reed part of this, is the thing he's obsessed with is, I mean, the way he obsesses with it, of course, is ridiculous. But, like, it's actually an important thing. Like, everybody knowing when bad stuff is happening. Okay, Busted Sim, thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we actually did the survivors already, so I will put the Ensigns of Command on the wheel. That's a great episode.
Yeah. Wait, didn't we do the Ensigns of Command?
With the Shellyak?
Yeah, with the Shellyak.
I don't think we did we?
I swear to God we watched the Shellyak. Maybe it was just you and me.
I think that was just me and you.
I think it's you two, yeah.
I've got to go in and make that master list. I haven't done that yet.
I love how obsessed with the captain's chair he is right now.
That's the idea. They're all that's the premise.
No, I know, but like this is pretty good.
That doesn't seem very safe at all.
Parametric scanning.
Yeah.
So Archer's tack now is to just write the whole intro to that book in Star Trek episode titles. Because he just said, "How does one measure a man's legacy?"
Yes.
Okay, this exchange is not the best.
Sounds good.
Because he's gonna say, I know this episode too well. Now I get that 19 is a lot, but he's going to go, well, it's a little long-winded. He only read him like 3 lines. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird to say that. Like, you can say 19 pages sounds like too many pages, but to say long-winded, he read like 3 lines.
Yeah.
And you obviously don't know anything about acting.
Well, I was gonna say, is the writing kind of a dig at the show?
I love Bakula in other things, but I swear to God, it's like he turns into a guy that doesn't know how to act when he's in this show.
He sounds like a crazy person.
Well, and yeah, there are way too many episodes, specifically where Archer gets all out of character and out of whack, and he's under an influence, because he never seems that different from his normal self, because when he's just regular Archer, he seems out of character. It's like, no, he's got to be some other way most of the time, right?
Look at this. They went all handheld here. It looks like an X-Files episode.
That's true.
I wonder who designed that noise.
They didn't know what the heck that was. You didn't even tell him. You can't.
It's like if you just got into a microphone and started going, woo, woo. Everybody was late. Why didn't they get here on time? Wait, were you just counting in your head? What were you even looking at right there?
Is this a chair?
Inertial micro. Why doesn't it just... Okay, if you have that... And see, that's what I'm talking about. Really? You have technology that allows you to do micro dampeners in a chair.
Right.
But you haven't developed shields yet. Oh,
It looks like a dentist chair. Look at that.
it's great.
Are there clicks in the darkness?
Now see, watch. Archer's about to go too far. Right? What's this? Nope, that's not out of character, Archer. That's just what he's like. And especially later, like when we're basically just seeing what Archer will be like through all of season 3. That's just Cindy War Archer right there.
It's gonna be.
That's all that is. Am I right?
Yeah. I'll have you taken out and shot.
They're moving awfully slow for heading to a trinary star system.
Why is he barefoot? Wait.
But I think the problem with Archer is that his character isn't as well defined as the other captains. He's just the first one. Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of people on this show.
Well, and that's, to be fair, like that's a problem with this era of Star Trek shows in general. Like a lot of characters eventually find their footing, but they kind of start that way. And again, that's another way in which this is just more Voyager, because that starts with a bunch of kind of wooden, kind of planks of wood.
Right.
With a couple of cool ideas at the beginning for things you could have done with characters, but
Right.
There was a big running joke with a lot of fans at the beginning of Voyager where it's, I just can't wait for these characters to get interesting.
So what's she gonna do?
What's she gonna do, Brandon?
I don't know. Oh God.
Look, it's the thing from Schism.
Schism, that's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Or maybe the Mind's Eye.
That too. But that was not a table. That was a chair.
It was it was a chair. But the head thing looked like
that was vertical, not horizontal.
Right.
But either way, I imagine that if you go to a 24th century holodeck and you tell it almost nothing about either of those pieces of furniture, it can recreate it perfectly. Buzzism says, like, I can define every character from a simple start point description except for Archer. Yeah, I mean, the only archetype there besides the first captain is trying to live up to your famous dad's legacy. That's about all I got.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's hard to attribute to him, specific character traits.
So this is unintentionally revealing information to her, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she can see that.
That actually looks really cool. And
That's what I was wowing about.
I gotta
earlier.
give this show props when the CG looks good, because it so often doesn't.
Does not, right. What is that thing that she's holding?
Deodorant.
Deodorant?
It's a speed stick.
He also says, in Mayweather's season 2 subplot, how will I end up in sickbay this week because the producers aren't happy with my performance?
No,
That's kind of true. And I've met that guy in real life. He's a neat guy. I like him. I don't think he's a great actor.
Yeah, I've never seen him in anything else besides this show.
There's just a lot of kind of miscasting in this show. I'd say about half, well, not even half. Like, a lot of the really good actors just never get anything to do. And it's this unfortunate switch where the major characters that we're constantly giving a lot of stories to and trying to create, like, sort of a new trifecta, like, two of the three aren't good. And like aren't good in the show anyway. And I think Connor Trinneer's a really good actor.
Right.
And I think Linda Park's pretty good, and just rarely gets anything to do. But Mayweather is kind of Power Ranger level acting, and DePaul is in some other universe where acting is some other thing than what I thought it was supposed to be.
I don't even know what she's doing half the time. The only other thing I ever saw Connor Trinneer in was, do you remember when the Sci-Fi Channel did a mini-series in the 2000s called Taken?
Yeah,
and
but I never watched it.
A multi-generational abduction story and stuff. He was in that. That was the only other thing. And I think he was in that while this was on.
I've seen him in little bit parts and things where he'll guest star and stuff.
He'll show up.
Yep.
Oh, there's the water shower that they have.
Which looks like it could be an agony booth.
An agony?
Is that a comb?
Why does it look like a giant comb?
What is that giant comb?
Why would you have that?
Oh, look,
I have like.
Wait, why are the buttons on the outside?
Why
were the buttons on the outside? How do you turn it off? I guess you leave and then turn it on?
In Star Trek 2.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate comparison. And they're talking about radiation.
It's just like it.
He's getting water all over the ship, out of danger. She's like, no, that's what we need to deal with right now. He's like, I have been and always shall be here. She's like, I don't even like you that much. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
This is all it needed was a cold shower.
I was gonna say the first thing I would do is turn on the sprinkler systems everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To wake everybody up enough to do something, and send them to battle stations. Brandon, what would you even call it if you didn't call it battle stations?
Well, I mean...
Was that coffee?
I like the tactical...
Yeah, I don't know.
But, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you're like, everybody to something, but don't call it battle stations. Like, it's almost like a...
In
like
TOS,
weird,
sometimes they call it general quarters, like
yeah.
it's an old sailing ship or something, you know?
Like, it wouldn't have to be battle stations, because they could be in a situation where they just need to be ultra alert, not necessarily in battle. It could be anything.
Right, but that's why you go to battle stations, because it could be anything.
Right. but it might not be battle. So, his main point, whether there's something to fill the void or not, his main point is just he's not a warship, I guess.
It's a dumb point.
Yeah, but it is Archer.
Like I said, he's ill-defined. I mean, I'm with Busted Sim on this. What's really obnoxious is when we get to season 4 and they start talking about Archer like he's been a completely different character the whole time. They describe him like he's a Captain Kirk or something. I'm like, everything you're saying about him right now, not that character.
Oh, you've killed us all.
I was gonna say they should be dead right now.
What's that big old dial? What's that all about?
It's the Master Lock.
It's a master lock.
Yeah, some of the things on the consoles make it look like they're extrapolating from like what we thought the future would look like in the 1950s or something.
Yeah,
Like they're trying
it looks
to
like the space shuttle on the inside.
They're trying to shoehorn this in with the 66 show continuity.
Yeah, sort of aesthetically, but
Yeah.
not even the 60s show so much as just like even earlier sci-fi where it's like we're just trying really hard to make it look primitive.
Yeah.
They didn't do a very good job with the historical future. The retro futurism.
So he's got a joystick, but at least it didn't come up out of the floor.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, Brandon, you can't have your cake and eat it too on that. You gotta either do that or don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you go, well, we're gonna have little nods to it, like she still has to stare into a thing instead of having it just on a screen. Why?
But then you got all these other screens. Why? Yeah.
And then we'll have like a
just
couple of token sound effects that are like the sound effects in TOS. But then when you get to TOS, it's like a bombardment of those sounds for some reason. This sounds like what you'd think the ship would sound like if you like in a transition period between TOS and TNG.
Yeah.
Okay, did you see what just happened there? The ship got hit with something, and he recoiled, pulling the joystick with him. That should have sent the
Yeah, shouldn't have sent the
Enterprise
ship up.
into an absolute, death whirl.
That stick only does what the script needs it to.
Why
guess
can't
that
the
did
Paul
not
do
look
that?
good.
I don't understand why she doesn't know how to do this.
Oh, that's
She
a good
said
point.
she needed multiple people.
He's not doing anything. It's like playing Microsoft Flight Simulator there.
but
Look
she's
at
doing
it.
something else.
I think it's as simple as the ship is not configured very efficiently.
Yeah,
where
those
she
guys-
can't
people.
do the readings on the screen in
Right,
front of
right.
him. It's got to be back there.
Designed for multiple
Right.
people.
And remember, because this is supposed to be so primitive, we can't just like move the screens. We can't just
Right.
like send your display over there. You can't do that.
Right.
Except Trip's gonna make that captain's chair read tactical. It's a weird
Yeah.
place to be lying down.
They were in some even weirder positions at the beginning.
Yeah. I don't feel like just emerging from the radiation would free them up immediately.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
Like might be waking up, but they'd still be all manner of.
Weird.
I'd be asking, what do you mean by that, Dr. Flox?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think he means nothing, really. The moral of the
Fortunately.
story here is less is more.
Yeah.
Because every single person will have that, where like, he doesn't have to write 19 pages, and Tucker doesn't have to do hardly anything to the chair.
Look at those blue things. That looks like they just bought it from a hospital today.
It's so futuristic, but also primitive. Do you buy that he was any more extreme than the rest of them?
He was dangerous, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
he was
so
any-
was Tucker. I mean, so was Reed.
Right, he was dangerous
And
too.
so was,
Reed was walking around pack of heat, like you said.
Yeah.
and so was
So was what? Archer?
Archer.
He was dangerous. He was just
Yeah.
writing a book.
Yeah, but he was like,
He threw somebody against the
Almost.
wall.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was
That
like, "I'm gonna
powerful
take you out and
I
get you
want to
shot."
shoot you.
Yeah. No, you're right. He was just being season 3 Archer, torturing people and stealing their warp cores. That happens.
And
He steals a
running-
warp core from Damar.
and running from flames.
Was he running?
Found her. We have
It's
found
my
a
favorite
ticket.
thing.
I do like this joke a lot. Has it occurred to you that Archer basically just sits in a modern gaming chair? That's essentially what that is. He's calling Archer short.
Huh?
Sulu needs a cup holder.
Cup holder.
He does. That's true. That's
Yeah,
actually a
little
thing they
table.
deal with in the Orville, which is pretty great, where they're like, should we be allowed to drink things on the bridge? I mean, yeah, I guess if it's not a distraction, sure.
Oh, I love that show.
We were talking about that water thing earlier, where they should just turn on sprinklers everywhere. I couldn't believe that scene at the end of an Orville episode where they actually have rigged up that set so they can flood it.
To flood the deck.
That's
yeah.
crazy. Like, we never saw that on
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Archer likes to get uncomfortably close to people.
He does.
And that is a real thing. That, what he just did there at the end of the episode, I realize it's for a laugh. Like, he's still obsessed with the, like, of all the people on the ship, of course Archer's going to be the one that's still obsessed with writing that prologue, right?
We're not obsessed with it. He's just got to do it. Like,
Well, yeah, but to be
gotta
the
get
one
it
that's-
done.
Yeah, but he gets so uncomfortably close to Paul of all people too. Just, it's always weird.
Hey, Dad,
yeah.
can I add a really bad episode to the wheel?
No.
No.
We have
You
some
get
bad
to
ones on
watch
there
it,
right now.
Jason, by yourself.
What were you thinking?
The Vulcan zombie episode.
No, we're not doing that. There's not bad stuff on there. I don't even remember the name of it, and if you can't think of the name of it, I'm definitely not even going to think about doing it, because I'm not looking it up. Because it's the worst. I think it actually might technically be the worst episode of Star Trek. That is hard to watch. Okay, Busta Sim just asked for 2 days and 2 nights from Enterprise, so I'm going to throw that on the wheel.
Enterprise.
That is from... Well, see, what happens is we do a particular show, and then people start getting that in their head, and then that's what they want on the wheel.
Wager. Remember we got swamped with that.
Thanks for the super chat, man. Yeah, that is the Risa episode.
Yeah, I know which one it is.
Well, there's other
That's the-
people watching. They might not know.
And that's the one with the and Trip and Tucker meet those two women that weren't really women and stuff.
It must have been an odd week, because every other episode somebody gets tied up in a really dark scene that's hard to look at in first and second season Enterprise. I always, when that show was on, I always like to make fun of that show and be like, okay, if you've never watched an Enterprise episode, the first thing to know is turn up the contrast on your TV.
Yeah. And was that the one where Archer like has some relationship with some woman or something? I don't remember, something like that.
Yeah, they made it almost like a retread of Captain's Holiday, sort of, but not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember what her deal is. Like she's involved in the temporal Cold War thing or something. I don't know.
Oh
Maybe I'm
wait,
making
really?
that up.
I
Maybe
don't
I'm
even
imagining
remember that. Well, of course, there's got to be time
Something-
travel involved, because Captain's Holiday also had time travel,
Yeah.
or allegedly. I'm pretty sure the Vorgons were actually from the future.
They were from the future.
Oh, that is the name of that episode, Busta Sim, but I'm not gonna say it out loud. Okay,
No.
anyway, so let's go ahead and rate. And as always, we rate on a scale of 0 to 4. 0 is God in my life with a phaser now, and 4 is yay. And let's go ahead and start rating ourselves. And then you guys, if you would like to, if you're watching right now and you'd like to put in a rating, we will read your rating on air. We just watched one episode, so this should go pretty quickly. Jason, you want to start us off?
Okay.
All right. Rate Singularity.
I'm thinking like 3.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's on an enterprise scale. 3.5.
You got great on the curve.
What don't you like about this episode? He likes
some of
everything
the
about
Archer
this.
stuff.
Like everything.
Well, that's fair.
Some of the Archer stuff and some of the Trip stuff.
They go too crazy for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly just some of the stuff that, like, he gets like super mad at Reed, and I just like, yeah.
Brandon.
It does too much.
I'm gonna give this a 3. One thing that I didn't like is that by the time they T'Pol came in to interrupt Dr. Phlox, I think he should have been further along at that point. They spent too much time doing other things.
Yeah.
And, like, he should have already been, like, into the head at that point.
Yeah, it makes no sense that Mayweather's not dead at the end of that episode.
Right.
That's true. He's gonna do brain surgery, but he waited. Like, he acts like he got way more extremely affected than anybody else. He had a remarkable amount of restraint, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, from the time that he put him down
I've killed it.
to
I've
the
killed
time
him.
that T'Pol interrupted was just far too much time. He should, like, he spent all that time in prep. No, he's too good a doctor for that. So
I don't disagree with that. That's a good point.
that it was going to be like a 3.25, but that brought it to the 3.
That took it down.
It
Adam.
did.
I give it a solid 3. It was a fun episode.
It's fun,
It had
for
its
sure.
moments, even if it wasn't like a real, there wasn't a whole lot to a plot
It's not
or a
meaty.
story to it. Yeah.
I wanted
Like
to
you
see
said,
them
it was like an
actually get some
animated series
information.
thing almost and stuff.
I wanted to see them actually get some information on the Trinary star system in the midst of everything that was going on. Like, the sensors still should have been recording stuff. Like, I'd like to see a little bit of analysis on it, being like, well, there's your problem right there, but look, we still got this cool info.
Well, and also you can use stories like this to sort of do character studies. Like when you have people in crazy extreme states, you can learn things about them that they don't want anybody to know about them. But instead, they just kind of go for for the most part, like really easy kind of least common denominator. Okay, so Hoshi's obsessed with cooking from her an old family recipe. Like, what does that tell me about Hoshi? A lot. I don't know. Like, she cares about her heritage because she's the token Asian person. Like, is that what we're doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would say that this episode is like a TOS sort of premise handled like mid to early TNG would have done it.
Yeah.
So this is one of those kind of quirky novel episodes, like a Night Terrors or something. I'm gonna go with a 3 as well on an Enterprise scale. I think that's around where it's at.
How often do we come to a consensus like that?
Yeah. Well, I can't go any farther. I mean, I can't go all the way to 3.5, but I don't want to go to a 2.5 because it's not. For Enterprise, it's well above mediocre. Busted Sim 3.3 just fun nonsense in contrast to the infuriating nonsense of New Trek. Yep, I totally agree. Tom 4 out of 4. Snuffles says she can't get an Enterprise and came in late, so didn't rate. Stephen Murphy 2.5. Busted Sim Brandon, I think he wasted a lot of. He's talking about Phlox. A lot of time running other less invasive tests before he decided on brain surgery.
I think he had pretty much determined brain surgery at the beginning, though.
Yeah.
He seemed very excited.
He was
about
very
the
bent on
possibility of
that,
what he was
yeah.
gonna get to
And
do.
then
He was
the
angling
script,
for brain surgery.
and I've had that thought every time I've watched this. The script was banking on you're not thinking about how much time had passed. Because, like, we don't
Right.
see him for a long time. We don't keep cutting back to him. So it's a big, long swath before we finally jump back. And then it's like, oh, no, better stop him before he kills Mayweather.
Right.
He's only just got him on the operating
What's
table.
the man
with
been doing
scalpel.
for the last 5 hours?
Yeah, with this, and this, yeah, the scalpel's right there, and he just happens to be getting into it.
Well,
So
everybody,
I'm going to disagree with that.
well, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you had a
Yeah.
good time hanging out with us for Star Trek Club. We'll be back again
I
next
had
week.
the best time.
I had a fairly decent time. Not the best, not the worst. Kind of like this episode, really. No, I'm kidding. It was a lot of fun. We'll be back next Monday with a regular linked episode. We'll be doing 2 shows. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit one of the 2-parters at the beginning and
cool.
get to watch 2. I'll put Star Trek Beyond back on the wheel. So if you're coming regularly, make sure you've got a way to watch that movie. Because I know I said that we're not doing TAS right now because everybody might not have a chance or have a way to get a hold of that. I would assume more people probably own Beyond, and also that's the last commentary we have to do. And we had initially planned on doing that commentary before we started the show, and then we thought, it'll come up on the wheel. 20 shows, it hasn't come up yet.
Right.
I mean, I took it off a couple weeks because I knew we were only doing 1 episode, but what are you saying?
And I don't know how I'm gonna watch it because we only have 1 copy of it, right?
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Sure appreciate it, and we will see you again next time. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I was
Absolutely.
Captain Logan. That's Brandon Grimm, Adam,
As always.
Meredith, and my son Jason. Later, everybody.
Jason.